So I'm Shivani and I'll be taking over this town hall for 4 to 5 of our products today, which is going to be courses, communities, client portal certificates, and a recent addition, which is collab. So to start off with, I know you guys must have a lot of questions on collab. So I'll go with the first product of collab. And currently we are running our white label beta testing on this one. We already have an opt-in form that I think most of you have signed up for. And while you have signed up for it, we are trying our best every day that we can enable it for each one of you. But we are going slow on this one since a lot is required on our end. And while that white label app is available to you, the reselling option is also available to you as an agency for an introductory price of $49. So you can choose to, resell your app to all of your locations at a certain price, whether you want to do it at a similar price of high level, whether you want to go higher, lower, that's your call. But yeah, that's available right now once you opt in the form and all of that stuff. So that's going on right now. Next up would be communities. So for communities, a lot of features went live recently. One of the first feature that went live was the GIF support in our post and comment. And I would just like to take a screen and show you a demo. So now that you have your post, you can actually come up here and add a GIF, search for a GIF. We've integrated with Giphy and then put up any of these as a GIF here. So this goes for both comments and posts. So this went live. Next up, we have a weekly subscription offer, which is now available for courses. So when you go under your courses actually today, you were able to add a paid course for a monthly or an annual basis on a recurring session, but now you can also add it for a weekly session. So that's one thing that went live. Then we have a light and dark mode, a quick access button. So I really wanted this to be an option for all of you to be an easy access. We already released themes. Now, if you look at your communities today and you look at this top bar, you can quickly access and change it from dark mode to light mode. And then we had promotional links and the ability to change their visibility to private or public. So what that means is generally most of you try to put your resources or website links on the right side of your group description. And now you can choose to actually edit that visibility from this link section, and you can make it either private or you can either make it public. Making it private just basically means that all of your group members can view it and none of your non-group members should be able to see it. So that has went live. And yeah, okay. And then the next thing would be that, okay, is my voice echoing? Cool. So the next step is that what are we going to do next? So private channel has been a long ask and it goes live next week. With private channels, we'll give you an ability that you can choose which member join your private channels and what kind of people you want to have to assign as moderator roles. Moderator roles basically mean that they can choose which people join, which people can post. You can just delegate your authority to them. And a demo for that actually is also available. So I'll just, yeah. So if you can choose to convert a current public channel to private channel also. That's right here. So if you choose to convert it, you can do that today. All of your members would be right in there. And then we have the ability of this, where you can see this is a private channel. You can choose to add multiple people inside it. You can choose to add moderators inside it. A group admin or owner can easily do that. So this is upcoming in next week. Cool. Next up, we have again, a huge ask from you guys that you wanted to schedule posts for most of your community groups, since Facebook has also deprecated that ability. So we are integrating with the current social planner and you would be able to schedule your post in community groups. And along with that, we also go live with our public APIs. So we provide public APIs for posts, comments, and likes that you can use going forward. And then we have, so this was raised mostly as an issue that, people come up and people have a use case where I created a group and now I want to give away that group for somebody I created it for. So we'll give you that ability that you can transfer your group ownership to someone else now, and that's upcoming in Q3. Then next up, we'll have new actions and triggers for workflow, which means that We'll have actions and triggers for gamification points when you want to give someone a gamification point, whether somebody has liked a post, somebody has commented a post, that would be available right from workflows. Same goes for liked a comment, commented on a post, and group access deny. Let's say you want to fire an email when you denied somebody a group access. So that is something that you should be able to do with these workflows. Next up, we'll have the ability to unlock courses based on gamification levels. I know all of you are engaging a lot with gamification, but want this ability where some courses can be locked just for a few levels. Unless you reach this level, you shouldn't be able to unlock it. That's also upcoming in quarter 3. Then we have events and calendars. So we'll allow you to create public events. Now, how you can use that is, let's say you're a course creator and you're giving a coaching class based on a recurring event or just based on, a weekly event that you're conducting. So you can put that into the calendar community group. And then people would be able to add that to their calendars. They would get notifications based on it. And then you can also choose what kind of visibility you want for your event. Whether, let's say, you only want people who have reached a certain level to attend this event, whether you want somebody who has only purchased this course should be able to attend this event, or whether you want only particular people of a private channel to be able to, attend this event, they would be able to do so, or all of the members of your groups, irrespective of where they are a part of. So that would go live again in early quarter 4.
Shivani, just a check. Will these events be paid or like open?
So we'll have both the capabilities, Ashish. We'll allow you to add a paid event also as well as a free one. I'm sorry, I'm misadding it here. But yeah, both of those options will be available. If somebody chooses to add a paid event, those group members will have to come on board, pay for a price, and then the event details would be available to them. So that's how it's going to work.
Tony, did you have a quick question?
I did. Going back to the white label collab, if you have a client that has access to several communities, I presume if, for example, if our agency went with a white label where our clients can have access to, onboarding tips and that kind of stuff, and they have their own community that's not white labeled, they would still need to have access to the white label version, which would be for our agency, and then the collab version for their sub account. Is that correct?
That should be that should be fine, right? Like how this would work is so as an agency, if you are using a sub account to manage courses, you get your own white label, plus your clients get their own white label. Like the whole idea is basically giving your clients the flexibility to white label their courses or anything, communities. Yeah. So this is a sub account level app. So the first level is like, if you understand how high level works, and of course all of us do. I'm just trying to reiterate. So agency is something that you are your client's SMEs, and this app would cater to the SME. So basically, let's say there's a roofing company named like XYZ roofing company. So his app can be the best roofers of Toronto, something like that. So we are trying to cater your clients now, and the reason we are doing it is because like we want to actually help them white label their business as well. Like this is the third level of white labeling now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Yep. Next up, we have chat, which is the DM capability inside communities. So we'll be coming up with this feature in early quarter 4, which also means that when this is out, you would be able to DM people inside a community group and subsequently also create a group chat out of it. So we'll have a mini version of this chat running on the UI, and then you can conduct multiple chat with these people. You'll have notifications running through them, and yeah. Next up as a product is courses. So what went live recently with courses was this video thumbnail option, where you can now choose this video thumbnail as your lesson thumbnail as well. So just under your video where you upload it, you'll now see an option of using this current frame as a thumbnail, which means that now when you're even running or playing your video, you can just click on this, whatever is your current frame, we'll choose that as a lesson thumbnail, and that goes there. So yeah, that went live. Next up, we have set password flow and new magic links coming over for courses, which means that We are moving away from the capability of giving you that entire issue of, setting giving you passwords from the email, picking up your passwords from there. You have to do that today, but we'll move away from that capability. We'll give you the ability to set your password and all of those magic links where you want to use it, whether in the workflow, whether in the emails. So yeah, that goes live next week. Then we have custom value support coming up for both offers and products, which means that when you're trying to have a description inside a product, or let's say an offer, we'll give you the ability to choose for a certain custom values that you have started off. And you can add that in this description here, and that would go out whenever somebody, let's say, you choose to have a custom value of user.name, and let's say I am that user conducting the course. So it will automatically pick up the name of, let's say, Shivani, or let's say Ryan. So yeah, that goes live again in Q3. Then we'll have a new theme coming all together, which is called as a Neo Classic theme. In Neo Classic theme, we have tried to do and improvise on most of the things and bring up a fresh new UI, which means that some of the screens that you're looking at are gonna look identical to our classic theme, but it's a better and newer version of it. So yeah, that's coming in early Q4. Then we'll have a new mobile UI for Collab altogether. So currently, when you see courses today in Collab, you can see that it looks pretty standard, but we are working on it to bring a new UI, which I'm just gonna pull up. So yeah, I've shown this earlier, but yeah, this is how we plan for our courses to look like inside community. So this is gonna work for both your gray label, white label, all of that stuff inside Collab. So quizzes, assignments, the curriculum itself, the syllabus, and whatever feedbacks we have received so far, we'll implement that in the UI. And next up, we'll have a major item coming up, which is media library integration for courses, which means that when you now want to upload any image or video inside a course, you should be able to use media library. Again, that's an early Q4 item for us. And this one is pretty exciting. So you currently can choose to sell products inside forms. And what we want to do from courses team is we want to give you that ability that you can also now sell offers from those forms. So once you choose that add product option here, you should be able to see offer listings, all of the offer listings that you have in your sub account, and then you can choose to sell them from the same form. So again, a early Q4 item for us. Next up, we have client portal. Most of you have wanted to have notification preferences for all of your child apps, be it courses, be it communities, be it just a client portal or just certificates. So we are bringing in this capability in Q3, where you would be able to toggle and choose what kind of notifications you want your users to receive. And then along with that, we'll give you the capability to edit out those email templates that are going out. So you can entirely customize how each of your email goes out and how people see it. So that goes out in Q3. Then we have document and contract. So people would be able to, you as a sublocation would be able to send those document and contract to your users. And once they log in into your client portal, they should be able to, just sign up their documents, whatever they have received. And that goes live in Q3. Then we'll have a huge improved client portal dashboard UI, both for mobile and web, where we want to make it more easily accessible for you guys, where it provides more relevant data and information just on the dashboard. So that's a major item again and goes out in early Q4. Then we have certificates as a product. So recently, I'm not sure how many of you are using it, but if you aren't, you are missing out on a lot. So we just recently released this feature wherein you can now put an expiry date to a certificate. So whether your certificate has an automation running with the course already, where somebody completes a course and then they want to get a certificate, they are automatically getting that. But now you can put an expiry date on it. Okay. So you can choose that 6 months duration. You can choose that 1 year duration, that the certificate will expire just after 1 year or just after 6 months, and people will have to come back, retake the course, and do all of that stuff again to maintain their credibility. I think Keith,
Do you have a quick question?
yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Can I have you, instead of making it a big issue, can we just get the reminders, the announcements to be variable data so that we can dictate how much in advance. The 7 days and 2 days is just it. I can give you an emotional reason why it's silly, but
Yes.
we don't need to get into that. Just
No,
when
we-
you when, do you
Yeah.
understand the point I'm making?
Yes, Keith. So we already got that feedback. We are already working on it where we want to bring in that capability that will allow you to choose on how you want to send out those reminder emails, what is the frequency and what is the duration you want to send it to. So that's already on the list, and Q3 will be working on it.
Okay. And
Great.
Ryan, you understand the overarching issue with the systems analysis that's a problem here, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Totally. Paul?
Yeah, so going back to communities, I did pop it in the chat, but do we have an ETA on being able to go live in a community, either via Zoom or something, or directly?
We are targeting early Q4, which means sometime around October. So that's our deadline for chat to go live in communities.
Excellent. Thanks, Shivani.
No,
Thank you,
not
Paul.
chat.
Did you say chat or live stream?
He's talking about video.
Yeah, live stream I'm talking about, like via Zoom, being able to...
Live stream is more
Nothing?
of a Q4 item for us. So it will go live in Q4, not in October. I thought you were asking chat.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Q4. Q4 is
Q4.
going to be a good one.
Looking
Cool.
forward to it.
Cool. So I'll move forward with certificates. And an exciting announcement is that we are now building a new product called Directories itself. Directory will most likely be, not most likely, will mostly be your white label listing platform. Let's say you are a realtor and you want to list houses on this platform, and you should be able to do that with a set of rules, and people would be able to view this. Same goes for let's say an instance where you are a specialized service provider and you want to list those services right here, you would be able to do that in that directory. If you're already using some sort of directory and you may want to move over, we are happy to take any feedbacks. If you want to jump on a call with me and tell more of your use cases, we are again able to do that. But I just wanted to bring focus on this, that this is something we are trying to build within early Q4 as a new product or a new dimension. And yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Can you go back to that slide? I just want to see that again.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. So if it will also work in a way that if people have certain skill set and you want to list all of those people here, and somebody should be able to, hire them from here, something on those lines, they should be able to do that. The entire listing would work that way, which is public. So yeah, I think Zach has a question.
Yeah, so on this directory, like you mentioned, listing houses as a realtor. So in that use case, when you click on it, what actually opens? Like, what's your vision for that? Because I have two use cases for something like this.
So I think, yeah, like we would love to talk more about this, but the idea is like this would work with contacts as well as custom objects. So we are bringing in with custom objects in the like it's almost there. So you can like as a location user, you can basically add contacts who are like experts doing with some skills or attributes listed together, or these can be like custom objects like a house or a let's say a car with certain kind of properties that you may assign to that custom object, right? So it will work with both. But again, like we would love to hear like this is in a place where we are just trying to explore what is the best way we can deliver at the use cases that we have heard so far. So if we can get on a call and talk more about it in detail, that would be the absolute best.
Yeah, I would gladly do that. I have two clients right now, one of which I'm trying to figure out something around this already. And so it would be great. Yeah, I would love to talk through that. At least the two use cases I have. The other question that I have is not around directories, but it is around the community private channels.
Right.
I haven't been able to find anything in the help documents around this, but
Not live yet, Zach. It's going live next week. And once it's out, we'll also have a brief support document helping you out on that. So just next week, it's going to be out.
copy. Okay, thanks.
And I'll just throw in my calendar link also, just in case you want to talk more about that directory use case and how we can help you. So I'll just throw that in and then you can book a call.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Isaac.
Zach.
Isaac, you got a question, man?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was muted.
Worries.
Two quick questions. One for the custom values. Is that also going to be in the description underneath the video? And for the courses, I think it was Q3 or Q4.
Yep. So actually that's gonna be inside description only. This is where you add your description, right? If you are able to see this red box, we'll have an option which will allow you to put custom values here. And this is where you upload your video. So it's if you're adding a video to a course, it's gonna be just beneath the uploaded video.
Okay, perfect. And my next question would be, is there any update for Loom or YouTube URLs instead of having to upload the actual video as the course content?
You can still do that by adding a source code, but if you really want to upload a link, I think you should be able to do that. Said, if you're here.
I think what he's referring to is like when you go to the upload video section, having an option to say upload from URL. So you just pay, similar to the email builder.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna
think
be more
I
of
got it right. But I
Yeah.
think,
And the-
Shivani, we already support it. Like if someone comes in today and puts the link in the description box, it
That's
would
what I'm-
automatically start working. Yeah, it's just about giving that option
option
in the face.
inside this, on the face of it. Yeah, I think that should be a quick turnaround for us. I'll just note that down.
Okay, thank you. So currently right now, if I just place a link, not the embed code, but I can just place a link there and that'll still work?
Yeah, it will work in the description part, but it will not work on that face of the video section that you're trying to upload it on. But we can do a quick turnaround for it. I'll just make a note
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Tanya?
So I'd like to second that. I have a client that would like to load her videos from Vimeo and not have to download them from Vimeo back up. So love that. Also on the directories, just as a little bit of a use case, not telling you about my client, but if there's a way that we can have analytics on the directory so that we can see how many people are clicking through, that would
Right.
be awesome. Like for business directories, for networking groups, Chamber of Commerce, things like that. Or I have a nonprofit that wants to connect one business to another business. So being able to either connect affiliate programs or those types of anything that we can have with any kind of a analytics would be really helpful for directories.
Right. So for the MVP, Tanya, honestly, we are trying to build this whole product or sub-module where we give you this capability at first and foremost. And then after the MVP, we are trying to build in that analytics, and that's still in works. But yes, we can discuss more on how you want that analytics to work around. Is it all going to be revolving around the clicks people have, or the part where how many people have viewed it, the frequency of it? So all of that can be discussed, and we can see how the scope goes along with your particular use case. So again, I would really love it if you could book a call and we could discuss this use case more.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Steve?
Hey, so
Hey.
just question on this directory again. So are these simply, and I don't want to use the word simply, these are objects? Is this where the database would come in for this?
So we would be able to use keys, both contact and contact objects. Contacts would be your individuals that you may want to put in these directory listings, and contact objects would just be your, let's say your houses, your cars, whatever you have added those there. So that would be a capability.
Gotcha.
So let's say, there's a so like a real life example, right? Let's say there's an organization working with foster pets, let's say, and they create a custom object in their CRM called pets, and they are able to put in all the details, photos, all of that stuff, and then they are able to create a directory of all the pets that are up for adoption. So I mean, this is like one very specific use case that directories could help with.
Yes, I'll be interested to see how this rolls out. I think you're going to need a lot of feedback, and I think people are going to give you a lot of good feedback on this.
That's what we are seeking. If you are also happy to jump on a call, please book a call, and we'll be happy to hear all of that.
Dutch Texan.
Good morning. About directories again. I can see use cases that you want to have the members of the community to see the whole directory, and I can see use cases that you don't want that to have. Is there a way that we can switch it on and off for the visibility for the members?
So you are trying to link this with your community group members. You have X number of people in your community group, and how many of those are going to be able to see this, and how many maybe could be added on this directory listing based off on some rules that you've set, right? I think we can work on this again. As I said, that we are still trying to bring this product forward and see how many use case we can cater to. So I think we can again note that down and see how we can bring that together and bring that
But
capability
like,
of.
what's the use case over there? So let's say you are a course creator, or you know, yeah. So let's say you are a course creator and you wanted to make a list of all your students. I mean, you would want this to be a public page, right? Like, I mean, we were thinking that directories will always be public, but why do you want a private directory?
Because otherwise people may be gonna try to headhunt for people inside. So right now I'm making a community for one of the leading advanced wound care specialists. He will have a lot of nurse practitioners in his group. The last thing he wants is that people go into his group and try to headhunt for people to get from one company to another company or anything like that. He is not interested in that because people are coming to him normally if he knows somebody, and you know that is also one of his earning models, that he has that community behind him. So if people
but in that case,
into his community and then do it themselves, then he's losing revenue.
But in that case, this person should not even use directories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well,
I wouldn't agree with
I think a more relevant question, Shivam, would be that if you hide it, who is going to actually view it and use this resourceful list of people and reach out to them?
I think a good example is, and this is Sean's favorite reference, the Chamber of Commerce. Most of your Chamber of Commerces, while they may have a public-facing directory, they also have a private directory with more information like contact details and other things. There's a lot of use cases for wanting to hide or gate a directory exclusive to members. Chamber of Commerce is just a big one that's very common practice.
But isn't that more of a user level thing where you allow me, who is being a part of this directory, to choose whether I want to be listed on this or not?
No. Even like Chamber of Commerce being the controller here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, see, these are two things, right? Like, so what we are trying to establish over here is, do you want a directory to have specific view rules for fields that are shown on the directory? Like the Chamber of Commerce example, right? It is a single directory, but when it is publicly accessed, it does not show the email, phone, or address or whatever.
Yeah,
but if you put this,
Shivam, I'm just saying, like Charles said, why not?
No, because I mean, it is stuff that we have to build. So we want to make sure we build the right thing. So what we are saying is, do you want one directory that has specific view rules for specific fields, or do you want two kinds of directories, one public, one private?
Just a button to make them both. One public, click the button, it becomes private.
Yeah, so that would be easier to implement, but then the directory will not even be publicly accessible. So let's go back to that Chamber of Commerce example, right? There is no public directory then. It's like everything is behind login.
Well, but there may be, so I can see, like, as far as ease of implementation, if you roll it out similar to how you rolled out communities, to where, okay, V1 of the directory is all public. V2 is permission based on what you can view, or or we're offering a private directory, so you can build a public directory or a solely private directory and then roll out permission based. I can see use cases for a private directory in online networking groups that I work. I have a lot of clients that run online networking groups. They have private directories that aren't open to the public. That's their business model. It's not for me to tell them how to run their business. I know Chamber of Commerce's that you cannot see certain directories until you are a paying member. There's a definite use case for having a solely private directory. Same thing with internal. I may want to create a directory of all my staff members. I may not want it public facing. I may want it just internal so nobody can access it except through a magic link or granted access. I may not want it accessible through my website to where everybody can see all my staff, because I don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry contacting my staff for everything. There's a lot of different use cases, but I think rolling it out like you did communities is, I would assume, is how it's going to roll out. It's going to roll out fully public, and then either private or permission based views is going to come next, and then whatever's left over in the third iteration of it. That's just my 2 cents.
Cool. Moving on here, Keith.
Thank you. So this is back to the oh, good grief. You guys got me thinking about directories. Back to the products. I'm scrolling back up to my comments. In courses, the button that people click to access a course is titled product. But many of our people aren't selling a product to get to the course. It's not thought of as a product from the customer's perspective. And yet that button is hard coded. We can't edit the title of that button. Can we just be able to edit the title of the button? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So today, Nilash, we should be able to, put a custom CSS code and then change the name of the site.
No, but Shivani, let's get rid of the confusion. Let's start calling it courses everywhere. It's a confusion with payment products, and I've heard it a lot more than today. So let's
do something in the meantime for Keith.
And then at the same time, somebody else. So the most recent thing that was happening in the Facebook group is somebody was talking about using it to sell the code for 3D printing. So it's not to their customers, it's not a course either. So just the ability to not have, when you all code something, instead of assuming a particular use case and coding the title of that button to be a particular button, if just as a rule of thumb, as a process, that button is an editable button, whatever the button happens to be.
I think it's good suggestion. We can do it for this button and we can accommodate that. But the challenge is there are over 13,000 buttons in the high level platform. So how many of those would you want to customize, right?
All of them.
Yeah, I think that is a problem. If we gave you a list of 13,000 buttons and the pages they were on, and then expect you to do something about it. But I think the critical ones, right? Like whenever these come up, we look at these as a case by case issue. So now that this is reported, it will probably get done. But making a general
I send you guys up for the next sports skills.
Yeah, but sort of following this as a general principle is a little bit more difficult, because there's just too much that you'll need to configure then.
Yeah.
No, but this is a great idea. Definitely. Like we will get this done.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Cami, do you still have a question?
Yes, I do. Sorry. Checking my kids into childcare. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so my big question, and I apologize if this has already been addressed. I was on the Facebook trying to get into the Zoom. So my big question is kind of overarching in like with the courses and communities and how they're tied together. You know, my vision, what I really want is to be able to have a community for everybody, like anybody that has access to one of my courses, but they all kind of have different access to the courses. And I know that they can get there from, you know, going to the courses and then, but it's very confusing in that like, it's not just in the learning portal. And so I'm wondering if there's any plan to make it where, you know, in the learning tab, they just have access to the things that they've purchased. Like, you know, you can offer free access, obviously that's just tied to a community, but then they could access, you know, the courses that they've purchased that are not necessarily tied to that community in the learning tab. Does that make sense?
So you want to make it a way and work it in a way which ideally lists all of your courses there, but people who are only buying it should be able to access it, and that should not be linked to particularly a
Oh,
community.
so right now the gap is there's nothing in between offering a free course and having to do an in-app purchase to see the course. There's nothing in between. With the legacy product, you had the ability to say, okay, they checked out with this primary product and they're getting 2 bonus courses. And so in a workflow, you could grant those offers, or you could have an offer set up for them to get all 3 courses. The problem is in communities, in the learning section, there's no way to do that. You have no control over granting access to a course. You either give it to them for free, or they have to pay for it, or you have to. I don't think coupon codes are in there yet, so there's no way to give them access to additional courses without them having to go through an in-app sale, or just make it free to everybody within that. Like, it's not tied to a channel. There's no way to segment off courses for particular offers and packages.
So Charles, that's part of my question, but I mean, really, I guess I don't understand, I guess, like why the learning, you know, tab is not just like the courses tab, where, you know, if they've purchased the product, they have access to it there. If they haven't, then they don't. I don't necessarily like, I don't want all of my courses listed there.
No. So over here, right, the use case is, so you might have a group which talks about, let's say, meditation, and you might have a group which talks about, let's say, something else, like maybe an advanced version of meditation. And this person has access to both the courses in the courses section and access to one of these groups. Now, inside the meditation group, he will be able to see the courses which is not related to meditation or something. So we wanted to keep this very tight, but I agree with what Charles is saying. We need to have better access control inside learning so that you are able to give access to individual users to these courses. Like we need to have a middle ground between paid and free. That is something that we would do, but like what you're asking for is like show all the courses that he has access to inside learning. So which learning do we show? If there are 4 different groups, which group does he get access? Like under the learning type of which group does he see all of these courses?
Well, and I think until you roll out, until you get learning to the same structure as what the legacy courses were, I think having the ability to hide learning from communities, like if there was a toggle that says turn off learning, I'm just going to use the child app courses, that would solve a lot of the problems. Because right now, like we have it in our coaching program, we run into the same thing. It's not a free course. It's tied to We have a downsell offer to where you can lose access to the community, but still have access to the course. Well, so we don't have that course in the community under learning. They have to go to the child app, but half a dozen times a week, we get messages, hey, I'm in learning. I don't see anything. Where's the course? You have to go to the child app and go to courses. If I could turn off learning, I would turn it off in half a dozen communities right now because of that confusion.
Yeah, I agree. It's just confusing.
Like you can put a custom code and get rid of that tab altogether, that learning section where you don't want it in a community group.
Right, Shivani, that I get that, but that's not an end user solution.
Yeah, because you have multiple communities now that I know you want to have that option in multiple communities. So custom code.
Well, and for future people, I mean, the end user coming in, not the agency, okay? The end user coming in, we expect them to know CSS to be able to hide that tab and to know that they can even do it, that it's even technically possible, and then know how to write the code versus putting a toggle switch.
Yeah. So ultimately, I mean, I think like I totally get what Charles helpful. Ultimately, I guess I see like it could be much simpler in just that like the learning tab should be the courses. You know, like there doesn't necessarily now like if you wanted to offer a free course that goes with the community, really it'd be awesome if like communities were part of like the offers, where it's like when you create an offer, you can add this course and this course and this community they get access to. You know what I mean? Like where it just kind of all works together. Right now, I feel like it's very two separate things and it's confusing and it just doesn't really work for how most course creators work. You know, because there's different people that have different access to different courses, yet you want them to have access to the same community and should be able to just toggle over to the learning and see all of the courses that they've purchased. And with that, you know, I've tried to kind of come up with like a workaround, I guess, whereas like, okay, well, I guess I will try and funnel people through the free community and then to purchase the paid course from the community. But that like, there's not really even a sales page option. You know what I mean? Like they can just hit buy now, but it's like, I can't even put in the description. Like you can't even see the whole description of like what the course is. So that's kind of another issue.
A similar checkout page, just like we had for courses, would do the job here, where you can put in all of that description with probably images and videos, and that could describe what you're trying to sell, and then people could come up and make a payment.
Right. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I don't really use the checkout pages. I create my own funnel pages because I want to make it the way I want it to look. So, I mean, ultimately, be able to link to whatever page you want where they could check out would be ideal, but the checkout page at least would be better than what it is now. But yeah, it just feels very like there's the community and this part, you know, with its course, but then there's courses over here. It's just, yeah, all very kind of disconjointed. And I feel like to actually make it function the way I like want to, like most course creators would want it to, it doesn't work. And so then it's just kind of like, well, stink. That then I can't really make use of it.
No, this makes sense, Cami. We have made a note of it, and I'll just run this down. We are already actually running this down, where we are trying to make it come across in a way where both of them seem connected rather than disconnected, and then learning and courses could come together in a way.
Perfect.
So we are doing that, but I've made a note in how we can, you know, alternatively look for a way for this also.
Awesome. And I was not on the call when you shared your link to book a chat. Would you mind sharing that again?
So you want the link to my calendar, I believe?
Yes. That would be awesome. I was on watching the Facebook and couldn't get into Zoom. From the calendar, it added like, you know, it adds the calendar event and it wouldn't let me join from there. So
yeah, I'll just put it again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cami.
I appreciate.
Well, Dutch Texan, you got something?
Yeah, very short on this topic. Like again, the client that I'm working with that that is teaching the nurse practitioners, he would love to have one big community of nurse practitioners and different courses for different certifications, state certification that people can buy. So if you have one big community where you have all the different courses and some are grayed out with like a buy button, I think that that would be awesome, because that then people like that can make so much more money. And I think a lot of course creators are able to do that.
I think having an upsell option, just like we have today in courses, would solve most of that issues where people have already purchased some sort of courses, let's say 3 to 5, and then there are 3 to 5 courses which are available to buy to them, and that has like a grayed out zone which shows a log that until you buy this, you're not going to have access to this. So I think that's going to be the right approach to fix this, and I've just made a note so we can put it in our roadmap.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay. Anything that we've missed, Charles?
Just some quick feedback that I've gotten from several clients here as of lately. They would like to see a pop-up modal when you go to a community that you're not currently a member of.
Okay.
For whatever reason, people are not seeing the join community on the right-hand panel. They like the pop-up of where you complete your profile. And they said, you know, if there's some way to call more attention, maybe through a pop-up modal to join the community that you're not currently a member. So think of public free communities.
Makes sense. So just
Something
as
to drop, because they're getting in there and they're like, oh, I see everything, and they're trying to interact with it, and they totally miss the button on the right hand side that says join community, because there's so much going on the right hand side.
Yeah, that should work actually. Should be fairly straightforward, because I agree it sits on the right side, and as a new member who's just coming across wouldn't be able to see that. So just as they land up on that community group, we can show a modal that talks about how you can join the community, whether you need to sign up, sign in, all of that stuff, and we can put that as a modal. Noted.
Thank you.
Good suggestion. Edward.
Yes. All right. This has more to do with branding. When you go to memberships and then you have that yellow banner there that says something about, hey, create your first course or something like that. Could you give us the ability to change that banner as high level becomes more ubiquitous? Then this starts to get more and more recognized. So I would like to have my own banner in there.
Right. So, Edward, we are already working on a new theme customizer altogether, which will allow you to customize all of those components that sit in there. Now, whether you talk about an existing banner that you may already have and you want to customize it, or you maybe want to add a new promotional banner to it, that should be available by early Q4, and we are working on it. So that's something that should answer your question, where you should be able to customize it entirely. Which
Good. So you're saying that at the beginning of fourth quarter, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we are targeting that. So if I'm being optimistic, it should be there by early Q4. October somewhat is what we are looking at.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you.
Chris, what's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. Like this directories thing is cool, but I mean, we kind of need a CMS in the web builder platform. To me, there's a CMS behind directories. So why not just put that into funnels and websites? Because we need it there. We want one.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a feedback for funnels and websites, since I'm not managing it, but I can take this back to the relevant team and see what they think about it. If you already have a link,
Because we're kind of doing that with custom objects, right? Like it works like a database with records and stuff. Similar to like, you know, how like Webflow works, where like you've got, I haven't used this in a little while, but you know, you can have little databases and then populate those within a web page. Well, in the directories case, we're just wrapping it into a product essentially, is the way I'm understanding how we're going to build it.
but I think we can, if it's specific to something and you have it on ideas board, probably we can take it back, right, to the team.
Cool. I see what you're saying though. I mean, it makes sense. So, when are community DMs honestly coming out? Well,
are honestly coming out sometime in October. I don't have a date to tell you, like, but yeah, it's coming out in October.
October's a great month. Okay, Zach.
Yeah, I threw it in the chat. But something that hit me is like we're talking about putting directories. I'm assuming what you mean is like when you hit the plus button and now you can drop buttons, you can drop, different things in there that we could drop a community. Sorry, not a community, a directory into a website or funnel. What would be awesome is if that website or funnel or whatever, if we can add like a general password to it so that it can be private and we can just say, you get access, as a member, whatever. Here's the password 12345, right? So that somebody can go to the website, but they can't see the directory unless they have the general password. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, that's probably going to be managed with the public and private facing ones. It'll be more sophisticated than a password because obviously that can get handed around left and right, and we've got privacy issues on our hands. But yeah, we'll definitely gate that on the private side.
Okay.
Edward.
Yes. When the new customizer becomes available, could you add to that like a form that allows me to translate the login page? Like you could have, let's say, the label of the field, and then a field that allows me just to translate everything that shows up in there. Because right now my app is in Spanish, but the login screen to the communities remain in English.
So just to clarify, Edward, so these are two separate things. While we have a theme customizer for courses, we don't have a theme customizer for communities, but we are already working on something called internationalization, where we bring in the capability for you to add all of your information in the individual language that you may want to add to, just like your use case, and all of those buttons would be translated to those languages. So we are working on that, but I'll just make a note of it also.
So that internalization, is that automatically done, or this is something that I will go, let's say, field by field and being able to translate it by myself?
No, if you change your what do you call it, business language on the platform, or if you change your preferred language, then it would be automatically done.
See, okay, so what you're saying is that internalization that you're adding will allow me to do that, or you're saying just the one that was already
We
released?
already support a few languages where you can. So where is this? I'll go back a few steps. Where is this button sitting right now that you want to change the language for?
In the login screen for the communities, for instance.
So if I, as a member, want to join your community group, then I'll see a login screen and you want to change the language of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, what it says, enter your password and your username, for instance.
Yeah, for that, we don't have internationalization yet. So we still have to run that down on how we want to bring that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if there is something that could be added inside in the customization that allows me to, just to translate it, for me to choose, what is the language that I want for that form.
So this is very simple. This is very simple. So right now that login page, we have not supported I-18 or internationalization. But once we support it, the moment you change your platform language, this automatically changes to Spanish. Like we will be supporting close to 142 languages in the platform. That's our bigger goal. And we are, yeah, so we are almost like most of the platform is already internationalized, including communities and courses. If there are few pages which are left, that would be done soon. Like that's a continuous process that we are doing. So like you don't have to get into the loopholes or nitty-gritties of translating the buttons one by one and all of it. It would be automatically converted to Spanish in your use case if you just change the platform language. Like everything will be converted.
The problem that I have sometimes with the automatic translation, which I understand, I mean, it's a huge application, so it's much better if it is done automatically. The thing is, like I've seen in some wording that is like totally off. I'll give you one example, like Stripe.
Right? Yeah, I get it. So this is, again, I'll get you through the process. This is a very community driven translations that we are doing right now. just to make it like just to connect more with the audience that we have. In case you have observed these differences in the platform regarding specific words or sentences which does not relate to the language that you are preferring, just send it out to us. We have a dedicated team who is working on translation who would be updating these strings. So we have been taking this feedback continuously. Just wanted to make everyone aware that we have this team. If you can get the feedback to us, we will be updating the strings and make the platform better every day.
Do you have a particular email for that?
Yeah. I'll send you the email for Pooja. Or anyone at high level should be able to help you. Like if you get a hold of anyone at high level, just send him the feedback and they would be able to help you. But I'll just send the email for the product manager who's taking care of it. It's pooja@gohighlevel.com.
Okay. So one last thing, by when do you think that internalization will be available?
For the login page?
Yes.
Like it shouldn't be late. I that's what I can say. Like there must be some pages which are in progress right now. There must be some pages which we have prioritized. If the page that you're asking for is one of them, it should be done pretty quick. Sooner than later. Like it wouldn't be that long that we will hold this up. And it's a very continuous process that we are following. Like every day we are trying to knock out one or the other page, along with whatever else we are doing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. We had one other question about when the digital downloads are available from the ecom stuff. That's not going to be displayed in the client portal, is it? I mean, those are just going to be delivered via email, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to ask ecom on that, but no plans at this time to integrate that into the client portal. Cool. Everybody else says thank you. Any other remaining questions before we adjourn here? We're only 1 minute over, so I think we did pretty well.
Yes.
Amazing. Shivani and Nilashish, and everybody, thanks so much for the presentation. Love seeing all these features, and thanks for all the participation, guys. Love seeing your faces and your opinions. And we'll continue on with the next one as we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks very much.